My name is Elias Varn, former cargo pilot, part-time smuggler, and by a chain of catastrophic decisions, human ambassador to one of the most powerful species in known space. Not by choice. Never by choice. It all started on the edge of civilized space, somewhere beyond the Perseus trade lanes. My ship, the Rust Sparrow, wasn't much to look at, held together by salvage plating, prayer, and questionable engineering. But she flew. And in my line of work, that was enough. I was hauling medical supplies to a mining colony when the sky tore open. Not metaphorically. Literally. Space itself rippled, like fabric pulled too tight. Then came the ships, sleek, impossibly smooth constructs that shimmered like liquid metal under starlight. I didn't recognize the design. That should have been my first warning. Before I could even think about running, my systems died. Engines gone. Weapons offline. Communications cut. A beam of pale violet light latched onto my ship. And just like that, I wasn't in control anymore. I woke up on a floor that wasn't a floor. It shifted beneath me, like I was standing on a living surface, soft, warm, almost breathing. Great, I muttered. Kidnapped by space squids. A voice answered. Your humor is inefficient, but noted. I spun around. She stood at the far end of the chamber, framed by glowing arches of light. Tall, easily over 7 feet, with skin that shimmered like starlight reflected on water. Her form was humanoid but refined, elegant in a way that made human beauty seem crude. Her eyes? They weren't eyes. They were galaxies. Swirling, luminous, infinite. And they were staring directly at me. I'm guessing you're in charge, I said, raising my hand slightly. I am, she replied. I am Vaelthyra, sovereign of the Astrix Dominion. I blinked. Of course you are. You have been brought here for evaluation, she continued. Your species is newly observed. We are determining whether humanity is worth preserving. Well, I said, no pressure then. She tilted her head slightly. You exhibit unusual composure for a primitive. Lady, I once landed on a pirate station using half an engine and duct tape. This is just Tuesday. For a moment, there was silence. Then, something unexpected happened. She smiled. The Astrix Dominion, as I quickly learned, wasn't just powerful. They were ancient, older than most known civilizations, with technology that bordered on godlike. They didn't conquer planets. They restructured reality around them. And humanity? We were barely a footnote. They discovered us recently, observed us, studied our wars, our art, our strange tendency to survive things we absolutely shouldn't. And they were undecided. Some among the council believe your species is chaotic. Vaelthyra told me as we walked through a corridor of floating light structures. Unstable. Dangerous. Yeah, that's fair. Others, she continued, believe your unpredictability may hold value. And you? I asked. She paused. I have not yet decided. I said. So, I'm the test subject. You are the representative. Same thing. Over the next few days, or whatever passed for days on their ship, I was observed constantly. Every reaction, every word, every choice. They tested me in ways I didn't expect. One moment, I'd be asked philosophical questions about morality. The next, I'd be thrown into simulated combat scenarios. Then cultural analysis. Emotional responses. They were trying to figure out what made humans human. And I think they were confused. You act irrationally, Vaelthyra said during one session. Yeah, I nodded. That tracks. You risk yourself for others without logical benefit. That's called being decent. You form attachments quickly. Also true. She studied me for a long moment. You are inefficient. And yet, I said with a grin, we're still here. Middle. It wasn't until the 7th cycle that everything changed. They brought me into a chamber unlike the others. Vast, open, with a ceiling that looked like a living night sky. This is the core nexus, Valthyra said. The center of our command structure. Fancy, I said. Very glowy. She ignored that. The council has reached a preliminary conclusion. I felt my stomach tighten, and she turned to face me fully. Humanity is deemed unstable. Yeah, you mentioned that. Your species exhibits high levels of violence, unpredictability, and emotional volatility. Still accurate. However, she paused. There is disagreement. Let me guess, I said. I'm the tiebreaker. You are the variable. Close enough. That's when they showed me. A projection filled the chamber. Images of Earth. Cities. Oceans. People. My people. Then the images changed. Ships. Asterix ships. Weapons charging. I felt the blood drain from my face. Whoa, hold on, I said. That's not. This is a joke, right? This is a potential outcome, Valthyra said calmly. If humanity is deemed too dangerous, preemptive action will be taken. You mean genocide. I mean containment. That's a funny word for extinction. I don't remember deciding to move. I just did. I stepped closer to her, closer than I probably should have. You can't do that, I said. Her expression didn't change. Why not? Because we're more than that, I snapped. Yeah, we fight. Yeah, we mess up. But we also build and create and care about each other in ways you probably don't even understand. She studied me. Explain. You've been watching us, right? I said. Then you've seen it. People risking everything for strangers. Sacrificing themselves. Loving each other even when it hurts. Emotions, she said. Unstable variables. Strength, I corrected. That's what makes us strong. There was a long silence. Then she said something unexpected. I do not understand beauty. I blinked. That's random. Your species assigns value to aesthetic qualities, she continued. Symmetry. Color. Form. You call it beauty. Yet, it is illogical. Most good things are. She stepped closer. Then explain it. I opened my mouth. Closed it. How do you explain beauty to someone who sees the universe as math? You don't explain it, I said finally. You just feel it. She frowned slightly. I do not feel it. I looked at her. Really looked. The way her skin shimmered like a living nebula. The way her presence seemed to bend the light around her. The quiet power in her posture. And before I could stop myself, I said it. You're beautiful. Silence. Absolute, total silence. For a moment, I thought I'd just signed humanity's death warrant. Then something impossible happened. Her skin changed. The shimmering patterns across her form brightened, then shifted. Soft hues of violet and gold spreading outward like a ripple in water. Her eyes, those galaxy-filled eyes, flickered. What did you say? She asked, her voice quieter than before. I swallowed. I said you're beautiful. That is an aesthetic judgment. Yeah. Based on what criteria? None, I said. That's the point. She turned away from me. But I could see it. The subtle shift in her form. The way the light across her skin pulsed unevenly. Is this, she hesitated, a human behavior? Complimenting someone? Yeah. No, she said. This reaction. I blinked. Wait, are you? I am experiencing instability. I stared at her. Then it hit me. Oh my God, I whispered. You're blushing. I do not blush. You're literally glowing pink. I am not. You are. For the first time since I'd met her, Thyra, queen of an ancient, godlike civilization, looked unsure. And that's when I realized something. They didn't understand emotion. Not really. They studied it, analyzed it, but they didn't feel it the way we did. And right now, she was feeling something new. Yenny, everything changed after that. Thyra began spending more time with me, not as a subject, but as something else. A student, maybe, or a friend. We talked about everything. Human culture, art, music, the ridiculous things we do for love. And slowly, I watched her change. Not physically, well, aside from the occasional glowing blush, but internally. She started asking different questions. Not why do humans do this, but how does it feel? The council noticed. Of course they did. You are being influenced, one of them said during a session. I am learning, Thyra replied. You are deviating. I am evolving. They didn't like that. And soon the decision came. Final this time. Humanity would be eliminated. I was brought back to the core nexus. The same projection. The same ships. Only this time it was real. It is decided, the council declared. I looked at Thyra. She stood at the center of the chamber, silent. You're just going to let this happen? I asked. She didn't answer. Vale, I said quietly. Look at me. She did. And for the first time, I saw it clearly. Emotion. Conflict. Fear. You told me you didn't understand beauty, I said. I am beginning to, she replied softly. Then understand this, I said. Humanity isn't perfect, but we're worth it. She closed her eyes. For a moment, the entire chamber seemed to hold its breath. Then she spoke. I override the council. The reaction was immediate. You do not have that authority. I am the sovereign, she said, her voice suddenly immense, resonating through the very structure of the ship. And I have made my decision. You are compromised. I am enlightened. The projections vanished. The weapons powered down. Earth was safe. Later, as I prepared to return home, I found her waiting for me. You're leaving, she said. Yeah, I nodded. Guess I've done enough damage for one lifetime. You have changed us, she said. Hopefully for the better. She stepped closer. You have changed me. There was a pause. Then she said quietly, Was your statement genuine? I smiled. About you being beautiful? Yes. I looked at her one last time. At the way she shimmered like a living star. At the way her presence filled the space around her. Yeah, I said. It was. Her skin shifted again, soft, radiant, unmistakably warm. A blush. Like a star igniting. As I boarded my patched-up ship and prepared to leave, I couldn't help but laugh. Humanity had survived first contact. Not with weapons. Not with strategy. But with something far more dangerous. A compliment. And somewhere, far beyond the stars, an alien queen was still learning what it meant to feel. And maybe, just maybe, that was the beginning of something even greater.